G'day, I'm Schuey from Smoked Barbecue Sauce, and today I'm going to be smoking a glazed ham. So let's get into it. Nothing looks more impressive in the centre of a table during the holiday season than a smoked glazed ham. Now what we need to do is get the skin off the ham. It's actually quite easy to do. You'll find with a little help it will just slip off. Just cut around the hock and down the sides. Just be careful not to slice right through the fat and the meat. You should be able to get your fingers under the skin and peel it back now. How easy was that? I'll be setting up the Weber Smoky Mountain to be smoking at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Now how I'm going to do that is I'll make a charcoal well called the minion method in the charcoal ring. Then I'm going to fill a chimney starter 3/4 full with lumped charcoal and light it up. Once that is all lashed over, I'm going to dump that into the well we created in the unlit charcoal. I'll also pop in a few chunks of smoking wood, cherry and apple for today's smoke. Now put on the lid, open all the vents and allow the WSM to heat up before we start closing down the vents and stabilising the heat. Now we need to make this look a little bit fancy. Considering this is going to be the centerpiece for our table, a little bit of prep work at the start and we're going to reap the benefits at the end of this cook. Using a utility knife, I'm going to start making shallow slices in the fat about 3/4 inch apart and then changing the angles and doing the same in the opposite direction to make a diamond pattern. Now grab a baking dish and line it with foil just to help the cleanup process. Add a resting tray for the ham to sit on and now put in 3 cups of hot water. Place the ham on the tray and insert an internal temp probe and set it for the first part of the smoke at 130 degrees Fahrenheit. That is when we're going to start glazing the ham. I'm smoking at a medium to high temp of around 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Most hams are going to take around the 3 to 3.5 hour mark to reach that safe eating temp of 140 degrees Fahrenheit internally. So all you just need to do is put the ham in the center of the cooking grate and squeeze the juice of 1 orange over the top to start the caramelization phase. Making a glaze up is fairly simple. We need sugar for caramelization. So into a saucepan goes 3/4 cup of maple syrup, 3/4 cup of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of allspice. Now just stir this over a medium heat for around 15 minutes to thicken, keeping an eye on it as we don't want it to burn. The ham's internal temperature has reached 130 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's time to start glazing the ham. Now the reason we wait until near the end of the cooking process to start that glaze is purely because the sugars in this glaze can have a tendency to burn over a 3 to 3.5 hour cook. So we're just allowing that double smoky flavour and then just getting you a nice sweet heat and that caramelisation at the end of our cook. So we'll start by grabbing a silicone brush and we're going to give the ham a generous coating of the glaze. Put the lid back on and set the internal temp alarm for 140 degrees Fahrenheit internally. Lift the lid every 15 to 20 minutes to reapply the glaze until the internal temp is reached. The ham has hit 140 degrees Fahrenheit internally, so we can now take it off the heat. This is where I'll normally grab the leftover glaze, reheat it, and give the ham a nice coating of that just while it rests for that 5 to 10 minutes before we start slicing it up. What I love about smoked ham is it creates that instant wow factor when you place it in the middle of a table with family and friends. The other thing I love about it is it tastes so good on its own. Well, there you have it, double smoked glazed ham. Take off the skin, score it, smoke it, glaze it, eat it. How simple is that? If you'd like to check out this recipe a little further, there's a link in the description to the website that has a full list of ingredients and step-by-step instructions. Thanks again for watching. It's now time for me to dig in and start eating. Cheers. 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 Cheers.